Okay, in this section we're going to look at the actual results from our testing. And in the first part, we're going to measure success. So how do we go about that? We know our success criteria already. We've looked at clicks and number of items added to baskets, etc., etc. All these different things could be used as a measure of success, and we know we have to track them. We have to set up goals with our testing services to make sure that we're tracking the right thing, and we can define a winner. But how long do we test for? Well, we should test until there are diminishing returns. Once we've got statistical significance, and we're going to look at that in detail in the very next lesson, then the reason to carry on the test sort of starts to reduce once we've actually made significant proof that we can reject the null hypothesis. And some say that might take at least a year to get results. But the key thing is to get this statistical significance. And even though things like Google Content Experiments have come up with potential shortcuts, the multi-armed bandit approach, it really is a waiting game. So we need a lot of users, or a significant number of users, to actually visit the page and take part in the test and actually go through the process of converting and achieving the goal. And we have to be conscious during this waiting game that just because somebody clicks a red add to basket button and we reject the null hypothesis that the red button won't make any difference, we have to be able to prove and show that it actually converts better and people go through an entire checkout process rather than just clicking a button. We have to look at the entire e-commerce funnel. We also have to be aware that we're not going to hit a glass ceiling, what's known as being stuck in a local maximum. And basically that's going through A/B testing and making a load of incremental changes, tiny changes, and not really being aware and keep staying our focus on the bigger picture that might be there that we haven't explored. So a company who may, for example, test out 41 different shades of blue, they may have a statistically significant argument for a particular shade of blue after various tests, but they may be overlooking a much bigger problem, and they should be testing different problems, not just hitting this ceiling and going, staying with that one idea. We also need to make sure that the test gets promoted significantly and we have enough visitors to come to our test. And it's got to be a careful procedure, because we need to test, get more people there, but not really tell them why they're there, not tell them that they're being tested, as that can skew results. And we need to make sure that we've got the right audience there. So if we are testing on a mobile platform, we need to promote for mobile only and perhaps segment our audience, the mobile audience, so we can just track that particular group. And as part of the whole testing procedure, we also need to make sure that our site is performing as well as it possibly can, because we don't want to attract people to the site where we've got our test and then put them off. So we need to make sure we've built to the best possible practices and we've got really fast load times. So yeah, every second of delay is supposedly reducing conversions by 7%, and these are commonly bandied around figures. 40% of visitors abandon a website taking 3 seconds or greater to load. And what is proven is that Google does now rank pages on their load time, so it really is a significant factor now. And the emphasis more and more in the web design world is on performance and weight. And that's partly because responsive design has created some monsterly huge pages, together with ideas such as parallax, which has really beefed up the pages, background videos, huge banner images, etc. So we now need to be more aware of our page times, especially if we're trying to get people to our test and to interact with our pages. As I said, the next section we're going to look at statistical significance in more detail, and we need to be aware that the greater the traffic we get to our page and to our test, the more powerful the test. If we don't have statistical significance, well, we may as well not bother testing. And if the site isn't getting much traffic in the first place, even as a result of your promotion, there's probably a more fundamental and important problem to solve. So that might be the starting place once you've done some tests and you realize what your traffic rates are actually like. Okay, so as I say, the next section we're going to look in a bit more detail at statistical significance, but we're going to try not to get bogged down in maths too much.